Despite a furious rally late and a huge game from Chris Boucher, the Toronto Raptors, with only 8 available players, can't get it done against the Chicago Bulls. 122-113 is your final. Raps record now 20-32. That's 12 games under 500. As we welcome you inside Raptors Night Cap, Randy Urban alongside Sherman Hamilton, Paul Jones, and Jack Armstrong. Jack, I'll start with you. Why do you think you got away from them defensively in that first half?
I think it just got to the point where, I think there are times where you struggle offensively, and, there's some run out opportunities and the Bulls capitalized. And I think sometimes when you have a team that is undermanned, you're going to go through droughts. Mm-hmm. And secondly, I think some of your defensive personality, unfortunately, at this point comes from your offense. I think when you saw them having some success offensively, I thought the level defensive intensity picked up. So I just think, the game is so fast, you can't hide, so you gotta be really good for long stretches. And to me, I think it was a matter of droughts. I thought the Raptors had a lot of stretches where they played really well tonight. But again, with a 24-second clock and a 48-minute game, those are great equalizers.
Sherm, you had, Bembry out with that suspension. Of course, Fred and Kyle still injured. Did you feel like this was just undermanned or overmatched? Do you think the Raptors had a chance coming into this one?
Yeah, I think they had a chance, but eventually we saw that they were undermanned and they were overmatched. This team has shown throughout the course of the last 6, 7, 8 years that they will not quit. No matter what the score is, they will not quit. And even without their leaders on the floor, and Kyle and Fred, this group on the floor still would not quit. I mean, they got it to a 7-point game in the dying minutes of the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. This is a team that was fighting till the end, but you just don't have enough. And, more importantly, you don't have the leadership on the floor that in those situations can make that play or make that decision or get everybody situated the right way to make a play. So it was just difficult. At times they had Stanley Johnson running the point for this team. I don't think anybody would have seen that coming at the beginning of the season. So it's tough to see them struggle like that based on who's not in the lineup. But I tip my hat to their fight and their determination to not give up in this game.
Randy, to Sherm's point, and we talk about this all the time. When you're and the game started, Sherman and I were talking about on the radio, it started to turn towards the end of the first quarter. They came out like a house on fire. Then it started to turn, and Chicago gets the lead to 8, 10, 12, 15, 18. And there's the droughts that Jack is talking about. That's what Sherm's talking about when there's not enough. And the leadership is when that game's at 12 and you're teetering and you've got Kyle or Fred on the floor, they make a play. They take a charge, they make a big shot. And instead of the lead going from 12 to 15, it goes from 12 to 9. Those plays that keep you in the game, that's what they were missing. This thing got away from them basically in the first half. And now you're fighting uphill all the way. And being shorthanded, not having the leadership, experiencing the droughts, that's what killed them. It wasn't, you talked about it in your open. They come flying back. They've got it, as Sherm said, to 7 with the ball, 2 possessions, and couldn't make a play. And that's being shorthanded in a number of ways that we pointed out. But to both the guys' point, man, this team, they're the kind of team, if they're losing by 50, they want to lose by 48. They're not going down without a fight.
Yeah, Jack, and we'll get to Boucher's game in a moment, but I want to talk about Pascal on sort of that same vein because, offensively the team did come out a little bit better, right, in that first few minutes, but I still thought Pascal looked tired. I thought that he was fighting fatigue there, and then he really just bounced back so strong to finish out the game, and it felt like he was getting back to more that decisive play that we've been used to.
Well, you used a good word. You used a good word, decisive. And to me, I thought he played with a lot more zest and energy tonight. I thought against the Lakers, even though he did a great job getting to the line, he played a little tired in that game, obviously a back-to-back. But tonight, I thought he played with a lot more conviction. And I thought his handle was nice and tight. They put him in the middle of the floor quite a bit and featured him. He had some great blow-bys. He had some spins, some step throughs, energy. I mean, he blocked some shots tonight. What did he have? 3 blocks tonight as well. So I thought he had a lot of burst in his game. And again, he's carrying a heavy weight right now because there aren't a lot of guys playing, and he's got to play major minutes.
You know, Pascal is seeing teams load up on him now like he's never seen before. I mean, the options are, if OG has it going, maybe he can relieve some pressure. Tonight, Chris Boucher had it going, but it didn't seem like they were concerned as much about Chris Boucher having it going in terms of thinking that he was going to win a game for them. So Pascal is getting everybody's best defender. He's getting the help side coming early. They're double teaming and putting all kinds of pressure and forcing him to navigate every single time he gets the ball. And tonight, I thought he did a good job. I mean, when they did a great job getting him matched up with Vucevic so he could attack and exploit Vucevic's lack of quickness. But other times they left him in the middle and they had 2 smaller guys sitting there waiting for him, backed off of him. And Pascal struggled in those moments because he didn't have outlets to make plays, to loosen up that defense. So he had to try and navigate through double teams. But he's getting a stern lesson in terms of what the lead guy is going to get when the lead guy can get it done. Teams are really locking in on.
I agree, Sherman. It's a case of the defense saying, we know you can beat us. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to force somebody else to beat us. We know you can do it. We're going to see if the other guys can. And I think what augurs well for the future in this is the lesson that Pascal is learning is when he's got some other guys around him, when he's got a little bit more help, the stuff that he's going to is going to be more effective because he's got a guy that he can pitch the ball to. He's got somebody spacing the floor for him. He's got a guy that's going to help him out and crash the glass. So, I mean, it's just tough for Pascal right now because he's at the top of the scouting report, and they're just saying there's no way you're going to beat us. If Toronto beats us, fine, but it's not going to be because of you.
Hey, Jack, Chris Boucher was fantastic tonight, and it kind of comes on the heels of, the Raptors signing Freddie Gillespie to a 10-day and then the rumors about possibly signing Khem Birch. He certainly put the staff on notice that he doesn't want to lose any minutes here.
Well, it's funny. We saw that you bring up an interesting point. I think we saw that the other night with Marc Gasol, all the stuff about Andre Drummond. I think it's obviously at a much lesser extent with Boucher. He's played significant minutes this season. But to me, the thing that I'm really impressed with tonight is just how well he played. I mean, what did he have? 9 offensive rebounds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, he was just all over the place and shot making, just a great tenacity. Hey, look, he's a guy. He's kind of like a Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry kind of guy that you go to the schoolyard. He's a guy that he's competing no matter what. And I just like his fight. And I said this a year ago in particular. Every time that guy goes in the game, something good happens. Something bad might happen too, but he's trying. He's leaving it out there, and I'm okay with that because blank happens, right? And you know what? You need some guys that are blank disturbers a little bit. And to me, I like him. He's got spirit. He's got fight. He's got toughness. And he wants to win. He loves basketball. It means a lot to him. And he's got a lot of pride, and it shows.
I like the fact that we saw his game grow. I mean, how many times in this game did he put the ball on the floor, get to a mid-range shot, raise up and knock it down, attack the basket? Like, he showed some versatility in his game. And it's not that I'm surprised about it because we know he's been growing all season long. It's just the effectiveness that he did it with in this game was impressive, and to shoot such a good field goal percentage. But I'm with you, Jack. I like the fact that this guy goes out there and he doesn't give a you-know-what. He's just going to play. He's going to get his shots up. He's going to block shots. He's going to be active. And he takes a beating. Chris Boucher takes a beating out there. He gets hit quite often, but there's no quit in this guy. He's a tough-minded individual. I love his spirit on the floor.
Well, late in the game, I know he finished with 19 rebounds, but he had 3 of them just slip out of his hands too. He could have had the Raptors' first ever 30-20 game. But let's move, Jonesy, to Malachi Flynn. He got his first career NBA start tonight. What'd you think of his performance?
I thought he did a good job. There were parts where his inexperience showed. But overall, I thought he did a good job. And I've just been impressed with the young man's progression over the time that he's been in Toronto. I mean, let's face it, they drafted a guy who's cut from the same cloth as Kyle Lowry and Fred VanVleet. People will look at him as small, but he's got a defensive player of the year. He's got a defensive mindset. He does a pretty good job running the team. His offense is coming around. It's just a matter of making it more consistent right now. I mean, he had a great move at the end of the game. They had it to 7. He makes a fantastic spin move, gets down the lane, and doesn't get the finish. If he gets that, it's a 5-point game. Things are so much different. But I'm impressed with the young man taking advantage of the opportunity he's been presented with and improving within that. And Randy's showing me a whole lot of confidence to boot. He's not afraid. He gets out there and he gets after it.
Jack, we got just under a minute to go in the show. So, you know, Raps now fall 3 games below Chicago for that play-in spot, right? And now they've got another back-to-back on the weekend. It's not, you know, the schedule doesn't let up at this point.
No.
What are you telling your guys here?
Well, you just get ready for Cleveland on Saturday night. You know, you got to try to get a win somehow, some way. I mean, there's nothing too complicated about it. But again, you know, the last 2 games against the Lakers and the Bulls, I think they've shown great fight late. I think it's really important on Saturday night in Cleveland to win the first quarter and play with the lead. I think they've been playing from behind a lot. I think that's going to be a big point of emphasis. Come out of the game, play with the lead, play with a little cushion. I think that would help them relax a little bit.
All right, guys, great stuff as always. Got to stop you there. Next game for the Raptors, Saturday night in Cleveland against the Cavs, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. You can click to watch our last episode or to subscribe to the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode.